Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. As you can see, taking a look today, we are going to look at another of the 2019 Safari LTD figures, and this is another one that I was really looking forward to, as I just thought that the entire appearance of it was super appealing, and that paint scheme is just absolutely beautiful. So I was really looking forward to getting the Styracosaurus here in person and taking a look at it. And I must say that I'm definitely really quite impressed, like I have been with all of the other 2019 Safari figures that I have seen in person so far. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get a closer look at this. Now, starting up here at the head sculpt, you can see that the overall detailing of the scaling and everything on the face is really nice. There's definitely a lot of work that has been put into the sculpting of the scales and the skin texture of the face. The nostrils are sculpted out really quite nicely there. You can see on both sides. Very beautifully done. The beak is really nice as well, although I will say that there doesn't appear to be quite as much detail and sculpt in the actual appearance of the beak as I would expect. But that is not to say that it's bad or anything, it's just you can see it's very smooth, and I would have kind of expected a little more as far as the sculpting of that area goes, but honestly, if you take a little step back, it still looks really beautiful. The eyes are painted very nicely. There's no sloppiness. They are a brown color with a black pupil, and they look very beautifully done. You can see the detailing all around the eye also looks very nice. The horn up here on the top of the head looks very good as well. That Styracosaurus horn that Styracosaurus is really known for. Of course, also known for these crazy spikes sticking up here on the top of the head, but regardless, you can see that the actual spikes and horns and stuff that stick out all over the head look very good as well. They are really nicely sculpted, and if you look up here, you can actually see as I turn it and the light kind of shines off of it, you can see some nice detail has been put into these horns up here, and they are painted very nicely. I definitely like the coloration of the head. This reddish coloration, I think, just gives it that little bit of a striking appearance that it really needs, as a lot of Ceratopsians, at least I would imagine, probably had a flashier color scheme up here on the top of the head, on the frill, assuming they were male anyway. I wouldn't expect females to have that, but the males, I would imagine, would have a little bit more of a colorful crest there on the frill, and it definitely looks very nice the way that they've applied this. Definitely a natural type of a look, and the overall coloration is very appealing. You can see that there are many variations of color that have been put into the head, kind of similar to the other two that I reviewed, the Camarasaurus and Carnotaurus. I was mentioning in those reviews how much more of an impressive paint job they've been applying to the figures for this year compared to last year. And again, it shines through here with this Styracosaurus. You can see that there are many different variations and subtle changes in color all over the head, which is something that I definitely love, because I feel like if you're going to make it look like a very realistic living animal, many different tones of color would be involved in the actual body color of the animal, and they've done that perfectly with this Styracosaurus. I think it looks absolutely awesome because of it. Then as we start to come back the neck here, you can see that that sculpting of the scales and all the skin detail looks very nice. It starts to get this whitish underbelly here as well, and then it kind of begins some striping that runs along the upper part of the body. It's like a dark green striping, and the majority of the body is a brownish color, but it kind of gets to a darker brown up here on the top, and I really love that burnt umber type brown. It just looks so beautiful. And you can see that there are all sorts of scale work and osteoderms and things put all over the sculpting of this. Some very nice skin folding right here in the shoulder area as we come down into the leg, and you can see that the feet are sculpted beautifully. Really nice, no sloppiness with the painting of the nails. And you can see everywhere where skin would be folding and wrinkling, it is present, so all the minor attentions to detail that should be there are all there. You can also kind of see the skin being bunched up here in the stomach as the left front leg is lifting up into the stomach a little. Beautiful sculpting all over the place on the Styracosaurus. And the paint is just top notch, it really is. And then we come back here, again into the rear left leg, and you can see it kind of again pushing up into the stomach. The skin is kind of scrunching up there. Beautiful attention to detail. Very nice musculature in this rear leg as we come down into the foot. Again, the foot is sculpted and painted very nicely, and you can see that this white coloration kind of appears right here around the rear leg, and that is one of the areas that I think that just makes this thing really so striking. The way that they've applied that white and it's such a subtle, beautiful appearance to it. Safari LTD has really been doing an absolutely fantastic job when it comes to applying this whitish coloration to their figures and making it really look like it belongs on the figure. Not something that you would expect to see on a huge animal like this, but they find a way to make it really look beautiful, make it look very natural, and I love it. I think it just makes the figures overall just look so striking and really stand out. And then we come up into the tail. Again, that beautiful sculpting of the skin, and the scales and everything run out the entire length of the tail. Beautifully done. You can see again some osteoderms and stuff all over. And if we come to the underside here, you can again see the cloaca, something that just makes the figures so anatomically correct and really, really scientifically accurate. Again, taking a look at this side now, the opposing side, we come back into the neck. Beautiful sculpt work here in the neck. You can actually see a little more of the neck on this side because the Styracosaurus kind of has his head turning a little to the left, so the other side was a little more bunched up, but this side you can see a little better. Very nice sculpt work here. We come back here into the leg, and again you can see since the legs are out away from each other on this side in the stomach region right here, you can see the skin being stretched as opposed to being bunched up. Looks very beautiful. They've done a very good job on that. Again, this front leg here has beautiful skin folding, like the wrinkles here in the joint of the leg. Looks beautiful. It's really nicely done. Foot looks beautiful as well. Very nicely painted. Again, we come back up here into the upper body, and you can just kind of see right here is like a variation of brown, and then it gets to a little bit of a brighter brown, and then when we get up to the top, there's that burnt umber. So just right there in that general area, there are 3 different variations of brown, and that's what I'm talking about when I say that they've improved so much on the painting of their dinosaurs this year as opposed to last year. They've done such a great job when it comes to including different tones of skin color on the animal, and I think it just makes them just have a step above what you would expect and just really making them look real. And then again, we come to the rear leg here. Very nicely sculpted, beautiful musculature, nice calf muscle, and again that white starts to appear right here on the leg. Everything you look at here on the foot looks beautiful. Very nicely sculpted. Again, no sloppiness with the paint or the nails. And then we run out the tail here. And again, it looks really nice. Has a nice curve to it. And just overall looks beautiful. I really like the appearance of the pose. It's just kind of trotting along very leisurely. Not really in any kind of a hurry or panic. Maybe just foraging for food. And it looks really nice the way they've done that. So overall, this just looks fantastic. As far as the size on the Styracosaurus goes, from maybe the horn here to the tail will go, probably seems like the longest amount, so about 7. If we bend it, we're almost at 8 inches actually, we're about 20 centimeters, and for a height, you are looking at about 3.5 inches or about 9 centimeters. And for a size comparison, there is the Carnotaurus with the Styracosaurus. You can see that the two are quite nicely sized against each other, and the Carnotaurus would have quite a formidable foe if he tried to take down this Styracosaurus. But again, as I mentioned previously in the Carnotaurus review, that the Carnotaurus is not a small figure, it's a pretty decent size, and this again should show you the size of the Styracosaurus, because once again, it is definitely a very nicely sized figure. So this Styracosaurus is really a beautiful looking dinosaur figure, a really, really nice interpretation of this Ceratopsian, and I feel like this may be one of the best Styracosaurus's that I've ever had the pleasure of owning. And again, that paint job is just so beautifully done. I really love the way the white has been applied. And you can see that there are all, like I said, many different variations and tones of skin color. I did mention that there are at least 3 browns. There are potentially 4 different variations of brown in it. You've also got the green striping that's all over the place. And of course, that white that's on the leg and tail. The underside here is even a different color of white, a slightly darker shade of white. And then, of course, you've got the red, pink type color up here on the frill up here, and then just all sorts of variation of color in the face. So really, there are just so many different variations of color alone in this Styracosaurus, and it really makes this thing look like a real living animal. I love the way they've done that. Of course, the sculpting of the dinosaur overall is just fantastic. It really looks beautifully done. There are lots of sculpt and detail that has been put into this figure, and really making it look like a real living replica of a once alive dinosaur, and it just looks fantastic. It really does. I definitely recommend this Styracosaurus to anybody that is interested in purchasing it. It would make a great figure for kids or for a collector. Doesn't really matter. Whoever is interested in it, trust me, it's an awesome Styracosaurus. So if you do want to purchase one, I will throw a link in the description to Safari LTD's website where you can purchase this Styracosaurus for yourself. I definitely recommend it. It is a very beautiful and very striking looking Ceratopsian. Definitely one of my favorite Ceratopsians that Safari has released. This figure is really highly recommended by me. I definitely dig it a lot. So go ahead, click that link, go follow it to the Safari LTD store and purchase this for yourself along with any of the other figures that they have on there from the 2019 lineup or previous years, because there is just tons of good stuff. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.